What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back with a new video, and today we're going to be trying a new concept that I've wanted to do a video on for a while now, but we have some polling data to finally look at to see, okay, where are the Senate races heading? And we're going to be looking at, alright, if we compare past polling errors, right, like in 2016 Senate races and 2020 presidential polls, and compare it to the polls we currently have, what would the Senate currently look like? Now, before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow the mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, also join the channel. That is right, folks, for just 10 cents a day, you could join Real American Politics, and yeah. Alright, so I'm going to explain this better. So, we have polling data from more and more states, and we're going to compare RCP's polling aggregate, the best polling aggregate, in my opinion, in the country, to what the polls look like today. So, this is 2022, these are 2016 polls, and here's 2020. Now, for the Senate comparison, we're going to compare 2016 Senate races to 2022 Senate races. We only have 9 states we're going to compare for us to see what the margin would look like if the election was held today based on the past polling. And again, this is not a prediction or anything like that. This is just comparing and showing everybody why I would not put much weight in the polls this year. Now, there are a couple states, for example, Washington, there really isn't polling data from the past to really look at. In 2022, comparing to the presidential level, we really have nothing in Colorado to, you know, predict upon, so we're just leaving those safe. We're not going to really touch those. So, yeah. And again, this is a concept I wanted to show everybody, to show you, yeah, these polls, historically speaking, they're not that good for Democrats. So, let's actually start with the comparison of the 2016 to 2022 polls. So, let's start in the great state of Nevada. And we're comparing this to September 10th polling, alright? So, on September 10th, Joe Heck, I know the name's funny, but he really was terrible as a candidate. He was leading by a point. End of the day, he lost the race by around 2.5. So, according to history, in 2022, if we look here, it was a 3.5 point, you know, shift towards the Democrats. So, you do some basic math here. Surprisingly, according to history, based on looking at only Senate polls in the past, Nevada would be likely Democrat. Now, again, this is not a prediction, all right? I don't want people going on Twitter saying, look at Real American Politics prediction. This is just looking and contrasting what the polls look like today and etc. So, as you can see here, the polling in a state like Nevada back then used to overstate Republicans, but we'll get to that in a little bit because not so much anymore. Now, Arizona, this is when we had John McCain still running. And at this time last time, he was running at about a 10 or 11 point lead. He ended up winning the race by around 12.9, so 1.9%, and wrong one. Whoa, hey now. Compared to today, Mark Kelly is leading the polls by around 4 points. Do some basic math, and again, this is a lean Democrat state according to past polling. Now, here we get to an interesting one. Colorado. So, in 2016, at the same time, Bennett was polling at around 15.5 points. He ended up winning the race by around 5.7, so almost a 10-point shift. And you compare it to today, well, we really don't have an RCP aggregate. But if we average the two, all right, let's say we do a basic average of 11 and 5. You do some basic math, let's say it's 7 or something like that. The polling history actually indicates Colorado's lean Republican. I know that may sound crazy, but that's past polling. Alright, and again, I'm not saying this is a prediction. Again, this is a non-prediction video. But I'm showing you why these polls, they can be corny. I mean, Colorado lean R, but Nevada likely Democrat. That's my point with polling this cycle, that it can get corny. But oh, Wisconsin, my great state of Wisconsin. People seemingly forget that at the same time, in 2016, Feingold was leading by 9.7. Johnson ended up winning by 3.5. Essentially, a 13-point shift. Well, you compare it to today, Mandela Barnes up by 4.5. So, likely Republican, which my prediction has been saying, looks like it's more than likely going to happen based on the polling data from the past. So, now we got Ohio. This is one that, you know, people I think are starting to realize it's not going to really be that close. But look at this. Portman was winning by around 10 points at the same time. In the final results, he was winning by around 21 points. You look here, RCP aggregate, and it has advanced up by 3.7. 3.7. So that means they have Ohio, based on polling history, safe Republican. That's history. That's not my prediction or anything like that. That's just flat out what the history says. Now, Georgia. This is one I actually didn't really look at. So, at the same time, in September 10th, Iskison, I think that's how you say his last name. It's one of those senators I have a poor time pronouncing. He was winning by around 11 points. He ended up winning by around 13.8%. So, around a 2.5, almost 3-point shift. You look at today, Walker's up by 0.5. So, that's lean Republican. Already, the polling errors, based on history, is indicating Republicans for sure have 50 Senate seats. Again, this is not going to exactly happen. I mean, Georgia lean Republican, but Arizona lean Democrat. You get the freaking point. Now, North Carolina, Ted Budd's up by, half point or so. Burr, at the same time, was at, let's see here, 3.3%. So it shifted by around 2.5 points. Again, Republicans take the Senate majority based on past polling. And let's keep going. Pennsylvania, Fetterman's up by 6.5 points. Oh, September 10th, let's see here. McGitchy, she was up by 0.2%. Katie McGinney, whatever. Point is, she was up by 0.2%. Toomey ended up winning by around 1.5. So you do the error based on this. Fetterman, as of now, would win the race. Again, this situation's getting weird with the polling. Now we have New Hampshire. And there are multiple polls because there's Hassan versus Bolduc and Morse versus Hassan. But we're going to compare both of them and average them out. So, at the same time, 2016, New Hampshire, September 10th, all right, Hassan was winning by around half point. She ended up winning by 0.2. Do some basic math, New Hampshire would go lean Democrat. So this, folks, is my point that you shouldn't really be trusting polls at all, right? I mean, according to the polling errors in the past, just from 2016, this would be the Senate map. Is this going to happen? Hell nah. Ron Johnson winning by almost 10 points, but, Cortez and Nevada winning by a likely margin. Hell nah. But it gets even funnier. Let's look at the Senate races. Alright, so this one is done. We're done comparing 2016 to 2022. Let's look at this. And remember what I said in the past about polls used to overperform Republicans in Nevada? Not so much anymore. Yes, it tightened very quickly. I mean, it had Biden up by 2.5 when it ended up being like 2.7. But point is, back at September 12th, the earliest we got, Biden was winning by 6%. He ended up, quote-unquote, winning the state of Nevada by just under 3 points. So about a 3.3 point shift. How does this look? Cortez winning by 1.7. So already, Republicans have a flip based on 2020 polling errors. Guys, we're going to keep going because I'm getting so sick and tired of these people still believe in the polls. Come on, guys. September 10th, Biden up by 5.7. Look at here, Mark Kelly up by 4. He ended up winning the state by around, quote-unquote, 0.3%. September 10th, look at that. So already another flip according to the polling errors in the past. Arizona flips. Think about that. Arizona flips. Alright, already based on 2020 polling errors. Now Wisconsin. Oh, we all know Ron Johnson. Big overperformer. Look at this. September 10th. Biden plus 6.5. Compare the polling errors. Look at that. They have Ron Johnson winning by around a tilt margin. All right, if I'm doing the math correctly, 4.3, 6.5. So, let's see. That's around. That's a margin of error of like, what is it? 5.8. Actually, a lean margin. So again, guys, we're gonna keep going because I think you guys are understanding my point that these polls, they suck. September 10th, 2020, Biden up by 2.5. Trump carried the state by almost 8. Again, safe Ohio. Keep going. Pennsylvania, September 10th, Biden plus 4.3. Biden ended up winning the state by 1.2. All right, right now, Fetterman's winning by 6.5. So again, another state that Fetterman pulling ahead by a little bit based on past polling. But does that really matter? No, because polling has gotten significantly worse. Georgia, we know Walker's up by a little bit, and this is the only state, one of the only states that actually overperformed Trump in 2016 early on, or 2020. So they have Herschel Walker losing based on history. Oh, North Carolina, we all know what this is going to say. September 10th, Biden up by 1.5. He lost by around 3. North Carolina now proves my point. Republicans would win North Carolina today. And New Hampshire. New Hampshire. We really don't have a polling error really from September 10th. It's around even. So for now, we're going to say New Hampshire is lean Democrat based on the polling and, you know, looking at this. So this, folks, proves my point. We shouldn't be really looking at polls that much. I mean, look at this. Republicans either way, though, based on past errors, are seemingly guaranteed 51 Senate seats. Again, this is not a prediction, but this is based on past errors in 2016 and 2020. Fairly recent. And again, look at this. Republicans get 51, get 51. So again, things could change, obviously, and when we get closer, I want to do another one of these videos because it proves my point that polling is not good. In fact, it's getting worse. So potentially, it's potentially a bigger miss. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow the mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And, yeah, also join the channel. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.